This video series is brought to you by the ASU Writing Center within the Academic Support Network. Thank you for joining me as we discuss Part 3 of Chicago Citation. This video, our third in the series, will discuss in-text citations and footnotes. Let's get started. In Chicago style, there are two different systems for dealing with in-text citations. The first is the Notes-Bibliography System. This system is preferred in humanities. It uses superscript numbers, as shown here, to refer to a citation found in either the footnotes or endnotes of a document. The footnotes are at the bottom of each page, where endnotes are at the end of the entire document. The Notes-Bibliography System usually includes a separate bibliography which lists each source used within the paper. The Notes-Bibliography System also accommodates a wide variety of sources that might not fit into the second system, which is the author-date system. The author-date system is the other way that you can cite in-text citations in Chicago style. It is preferred in sciences, and it includes a parenthetical citation with an author and a date, which refers to an entry in a reference list. This will feel and look similar to APA or MLA citation. It is important to note that you do not do both of these citation styles within Chicago style. You must pick one or the other. A paper should not have both footnotes or endnotes and parenthetical citations. We will first cover the Notes-Bibliography System. We want to familiarize you with everything that goes into a note entry. A footnote or endnote has the following information separated by commas. First, you will include the author. This will be listed in standard order, meaning your first name is first. So if the author's name was John Smith, it would be listed as John Smith in the citation. The title is next. The title will be written in title case, which means all major words are capitalized along with the first and last word. Titles of larger works like books or journals are italicized, whereas titles of smaller works like chapters or articles are not italicized and are in quotation marks. Then you will list the facts of publication within parentheses. This will include information like the publishing location, the publisher, and the published date. Terms like editor or edited by, translator or translated by, volume, and edition are going to be abbreviated. Finally, you will include a page number if it is needed. If you do need a page number, you will only include the page number for the specific passage being referenced by this specific note. Next, let's cover some note characteristics. If a text has already been cited in full in a note, then subsequent or following footnotes or endnotes do not have to cite that source in full again. The subsequent footnotes will often include a shortened version of the author and title and the page number being referenced. This is only the case if you will be including an additional bibliography. If your professor has not asked you to include an additional bibliography, then each footnote or endnote will need to have the full citation for the source being referenced. The note number in superscript will go outside almost all punctuation. The exception is a dash. The superscript will go before a dash, as seen here. Additionally, you cannot have two notes in the same place. For example, you cannot have superscript 1, superscript 2. Rather, you would need to include multiple sources in one note. So if you are citing multiple sources together, be it 2 sources, 3 sources, or 4 sources, you would need to include all of that information in one note. For in-depth examples on different source types, please visit the Chicago Manual of Style website. They have an entire page dedicated to note styles for different sources. Let's cover an example. So we are looking here at a book with a single author. First, we can see the note number. So this would correspond to the superscript in the text, the number 1. Next, we have the author listed in standard, so first name first, Cheryl Strayed. We can see each piece of information is separated by a comma. That is the standard practice when writing a note. Next is the title. This is italicized because it is a book. It is also written in title case, so every important word is capitalized along with the first and last word. Then we have the facts of publication. The location is listed, as well as the publisher and the year that it was published. And finally, we have the page number. So this specific note pulls from sequential pages 87 through 88, but it could also cite an individual page, just page 87, or it could cite multiple individual pages separated by a comma, so 87, 89, should that be necessary. Let's look at another example of a note. This is for a journal article. Again, we have the note number, which corresponds to the superscript in the text. And we have the author listed in standard, so first name first, Benjamin Bagley. And again, all this information is separated by a comma. You will see that after the author, after the title, after the publication information. Now we have the title. It is italicized for longer works and in quotes for shorter works. We can see the first part listed is the name of the article in particular. Therefore, it's in quotes because it is a shorter work. But then we have the title of the journal in which the article is published, Ethics, and it is italicized because it is a longer work. We've also included the volume and the issue number here. And then finally, we have facts of publication. So the publication date. There is no location or publisher in particular for this journal. And then we have the page number. For a journal, the page numbers are always going to be preceded by a colon. That is a rule specific for journal article notes. A specific range should be included in the note, the specific range you are pulling from for this specific note. But in the later bibliography, which we will talk about soon, you will need to include the entire range for the article. If you are unsure about how to add footnotes or endnotes into your document, please know that there is a pre-formatted way to do this. You do not have to do this manually. Google Docs and Word both have ways to insert a footnote or endnote with all the formatting set up. In Google Docs, you would go to the Insert option in the menu and then do Footnote. For Microsoft Word, you would need to go to the References tab, and you will find an option there called Insert Footnote. These will automatically number your footnotes and make sure that you have a footnote or endnote where you can add in your note information. Now we'll move to the author date system for in-text citations. For an author date entry, you need to think about parenthetical citations with the following elements included. First is the author, and you will typically list them by their last name. The second is the date published. This might be a year. It also could include a month. And then finally, the page number or locator. So if you're citing a specific passage, a page number or range may need to be included. The author date entry corresponds to a full citation in a references or works cited list at the end of the document. And to see further examples and variations for different sources, you can go to the Chicago Manual website. Again, they have several examples of a variety of sources and how they would be inputted through author date entry. Let's review an example of the author date entry for Chicago Citation. Here we have a paragraph of text. You can see that we have in-text citations used in a parenthetical format, and it lists the last name of the authors and the date. You'll notice there are commas separating the authors, but there is no comma between the authors and the date. Here we can see they're including the author last name, Bissell, and the date of publication, 2011. Each name and date mentioned here in parentheses must have a corresponding entry in the references or works cited list. To fail to do that is a form of academic dishonesty. If you have any questions about anything that we've covered in this video, please visit our online study hub as a place to post questions and get a tutor response. And if you would like to continue learning about Chicago style or find good resources for answering questions you may have, you can visit the Chicago Manual of Style website, where you can find online versions of the manual, sample papers, and even more guidance. Thank you so much for joining us for this segment, and we hope to see you in our next one.